freaking nuggets. Oh, there's a squirrel outside. Hello, squirrel. I cannot concentrate with this squirrel on my tree. I'm still in college. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today the video I'm going to be filming is how to succeed in college. So I decided to film this because I realized when I got to college I have to do so much other stuff than I ever did in high school. Like so much more studying, so much more talking to teachers and actually reading the textbook. So today I'm just going to give you my tips on how to succeed in college. So the first one I believe is the most important is staying organized. So I have a planner that I just bought for this upcoming year. It's from Target. I think a planner is the best thing ever to stay organized because you always have it with you. It's always in your backpack. It's always on hand, and it's not too big that takes up a lot of space. And I always just love writing in these. I think it's really cute. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it says has polka dots on it, and it's 2017, 2018. And another thing that I think also kind of helps with staying organized is having a file folder. I liked having that because I put a section for each class that I had. So I had my syllabus on there, and then I had all the papers that I wrote with the grades on them just in case something got messed up. So that's some of the stuff that you can prepare before you get to college. So once you get to class, your teachers are gonna give you a syllabus. My suggestion is to print that out. I like printing them out on my own, and I was able to go back and look to see how I could complete a certain assignment, or just having all the important dates in one spot so I could transfer them into my planner. So there's a really big difference between college and high school. In college, you're going to be in these really, really big lecture hall classes. You're not going to really have that student-teacher relationship like you did in high school. Right after class or during that first week of classes, you go and introduce yourself to your professor. This allows them to put a face to the name so you're not just another name on the roster. And I like doing this because I was able to email them and I felt like they actually knew who was emailing them, not just some random kid in their class. Because I introduced myself to my teachers that first week, I felt more comfortable going into office hours because I didn't have that awkward introduction when you're in there. And office hours, oh my goodness. They are the most helpful thing in the world, and I don't know why I didn't do this more my freshman year because it would have made life so much easier. I had a certain instance with one of my classes where I was so close to getting an A in the class, and I went in and talked about the extra credit opportunity, and he allowed me to complete it and turn in my work, and I was able to get an A in the class. Taking that extra time to go in and talk to your professors really helps out in the long run because I think you might know the material, but then when they explain it the way that they are teaching it, it just helps out so much. Overall, office hours are great. Definitely take advantage of them. I know a lot of people who don't, and they struggle a lot in the classes. Now, going into the studying aspect, you may have not studied that much while you were in high school. I know I could have studied a lot more in high school, but going into college, you're going to be studying so much more. Studying in college is so important. Do not do the night before. You will not retain the information, and pulling an all-nighter is definitely not the way to go because you're not going to retain that information and you're just going to go into your test not remembering anything. So for taking notes, I would always do mine by hand in a notebook because it was just a lot easier for me to concentrate on my professor and what they were saying while writing it down. My computer, I got a little distracted with that just because I could go on Pinterest or I could go on a website and do some shopping or Amazon or whatever. I don't know why, this is just me. I like doing the old pen and paper thing. I also like taking the notes that I wrote by hand and then putting them onto a Word document on my computer. Transferring your handwritten documents to Word documents I think is really good for studying because then you have all your notes in one spot and you can print them off, you can highlight them, you can add notes to the margins, and it's just another way to study. That's just me, and flashcards worked really well for me this year. I had a lot of classes that required vocab and I was able to memorize those really well. And there's also a website that I use, I think it was called flashcards.com, and I was able to type in my computer and use those flashcards online to study as well if you don't want to carry around the big pack of flashcards. And I really like this because I was able to keep all of my flashcards on my own account, Like when I was walking to class, I was able to flip through them on my phone, and that was just like a really quick way for me to study on the go. A lot of classes require a textbook or like extra reading materials, and these can get really expensive. Like I know there's a chem book that a lot of people had to buy that was like $300 or something, which is insane. Like, oh my goodness, $300 for a textbook you're going to use for like 15 weeks. So I really suggest actually reading it, because the teachers will be taking a lot of material from that book, like especially if they wrote the book, which they charge always an insane amount if they wrote the book, but you know, it's college, what are you gonna do? You have to buy the book. I really regret not actually reading the textbooks like when they assign the chapters, because a lot of the stuff that I was tested on I know was in the textbooks, and you're already spending a lot of money on them, so why not read them? Lastly, I highly suggest, I think I said highly suggested a lot, but I highly suggest you guys get study groups together for your classes. I always had questions when I was in class, and not only are you all getting together to work on the material and find other ways to explain it to each other, because your teacher might explain it one way, but you might not understand it that way. So in your study groups, other people are able to help you through these problems in a different way of getting to a solution. Also, this is a great way to make friends because you guys are all in the same class. You guys can sit together during class, you can go study together afterwards, or find a time to do it later in the week. It's just a nice way to get to know some new people when you're brand new on campus. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my tips on how to succeed in college. So if you guys would like to see more college videos, please like this video and also subscribe, because I post videos every week. If you have any comments, questions, or any video suggestions, please comment down below, and I'd love to talk to you guys. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!